In this week's chapter of One Piece, Jinbei saves Luffy and Nami by burning the fuck out of everything. Not only that, but it looks like Nami has lost her top. And you know what? That's a great way to start 2017. This week's chapter of One Piece was very story-centric. There was assloads of dialogue, but honestly, it was pretty good stuff. We finally got to see a great confrontation between Sanji and his sister. Jinbei, of course, is completely freaking awesome. And to put the cherry on top of the kick-ass sundae, we're on break next week, which means, of course, something really badass is about to happen. So, let's just jump right in. Christian, what did you think about this week's chapter?
For me, it was Sanji's sister talking sense into him and saying, like, look, we suck. You don't need to be sacrificing anything for us. And that was like the ultimate, like, Sanji now has no reason not to escape. His bracelets are fake, so he can go off and cook to his heart's content without his hands blowing off. That sounds intense. It's actually not very One Piece-like to, like, blow someone's arm off or something, you know? And Jinbei coming back in full storm and him saying that I'm done with my, like, thing I had to do on the side. So that pretty much means, by the way, when we're done with this arc, I'm joining the Straw Hat crew.
Unless they decide to just kill off Jinbei at the end of this arc, which is a big possibility.
Just like someone punches through him with a big lava fist?
Exactly, like a Kamino moment from Gurren Lagann, something like that. You know, things are just way too good to be true with everything that's going on with Jinbei right now. You know, he could be offed real easily. But again, the biggest thing about this chapter is, of course, Sanji letting his sister know that, look, pudding got into your head, she pulled some freaking film reel out, and that's why you don't remember anything. And Reiju seems completely content with the fact that the Vinsmokes and Germa 66 are about to basically be wiped out. She understands that she's done some shit that's pretty dirty in the past, she has killed people, she's been in war, and she knows really there's no way to save these guys, and letting them die might be the best option. But because Sanji is the kindest freaking person in the world, we know that it's not going to go down that way, and this could potentially lead to him actually being reunited with his family. I don't think it's going to be that easy, though, especially with all the flashbacks we continue to have with Sanji's mother, who, you know, they don't really get into her past all that much, but it's clear that she had a very strong relationship with her family, in particular Sanji, whose love was basically keeping her alive the entire time.
Yeah, like her getting those little, what do you call those, little lunch boxes from Sanji and stuff like that, like, all those flashbacks just show that she was a kind-hearted person that didn't want her children to be these hardcore, like, serial killers that the dad wanted. He pretty much said, he's like, I don't care what kind of monsters they are, just as long as they win wars. You know, he sounds like fucking Donald Trump or some shit. You know, like, he just doesn't care. Sorry, I had to bring Trump up.
Jeez.
But in general, it just shows that Sanji really was the only hope that the mother had, and I really did enjoy, like, these flashbacks, kind of seeing her. But what really made her sick? I am kind of confused about that. Do you have more into that, or was it just the giving birth to, like, 4 kids fucked her up?
I don't know.
Like,
I'm just gonna say it's tuberculosis.
Leukemia.
Yeah, I just like saying tuberculosis. It's fun to say. But no, they haven't really gotten into that much, and I'm actually kind of surprised. I've almost expected, like, this big arc, which is just all about the complete backstory of Sanji and his family. But for the most part, it's been kind of sporadic. They've just sort of been, like, sprinkling it in when it's, like, required for certain story moments. And to be perfectly honest with you, I'm okay with that. You know, I would like to see Sanji's backstory, but I don't necessarily think we need to dedicate an entire arc to it. You know, I have a firm understanding of everything from just what they've shown us, and honestly, that's really all I need to see. What is most interesting for me in this chapter is the way that Jinbei actually saved Luffy and Nami, because you have to remember, a lot of these prisoners which are in the library, which is the library of Mont Dior, who is another one of the sons of Big Mom, he has that book ability, where he's basically able to trap people inside of books and create these big, massive prisons. And Jinbei, who is a fishman, who relies, of course, on his strength, but of course of the power of water, just decides to burn this motherfucker down. And it's awesome. I mean, it leads to a lot of ridiculous imagery of characters, like, doing that, like, slow-mo 80s jump away from the giant explosion thing, that kind of thing. And it looked really cool. And Nami basically almost got burnt alive, but Luffy, of course, is still pumped up. He collapses once because he needs some food, but he's also reminded of everything that's going on with Sanji, and that's really the thing that's driving him most. And I'm still really curious to see how far Luffy's going to go in his plan to not eat anything. I wonder if there's going to be a scene that's going to force him to have to eat something, or... I mean, he's on an island that is made of food.
He's, like, it's like if he's an addict and he's on an island made of drugs. You know, it's like, it's pretty intense. So I don't even know if he's going to stick to that anymore because he got moved already.
Yeah.
So maybe he just breaks that, you know, maybe that's like bad writing and they just don't worry about that. But maybe just maybe Luffy's like, no, I'm going on a hunger strike until we get Sanji back.
Yeah.
But maybe Sanji shows up next chapter, he's like, hey, I'm back. And he's like, okay, cool. No. He just starts like eating everything.
It's like if Cheech and Chong were stuck on an island made out of weed, but they couldn't smoke weed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be a hard...
Or if Donald Trump was on an island made out of pussies, and he couldn't grab them. Like, sorry, I'm going to put my Donald Trump joke in too. President-elect.
Trump America's now. Okay. Anyway, so overall, this chapter got me really pumped for what's going on for the rest of this arc. I thought, like, okay, we got Sanji back. He's in it to win it now. We got everyone executing on their stuff. We have Brook keeping Big Mom busy, or he's dead. I don't know. We'll see what happens when we get back to that. Fuck Zoro. He's not in this show anymore.
We bring that up every week, and you always bring that up. It's like, what is Zoro doing? We want to see what he's doing.
I know. So we'll see what's going on there. But overall, I'd say this is like a 4 out of 5 for me. And it gives me, like, I'm pumped because if they're going on break, it's either a holiday, which it's not, or they got really awesome panels to draw. So we'll see what comes up next week.
I mean, it's the par for the course at this point. The One Piece series goes on breaks occasionally, whether it be due to the author or he's just planning something out. There could be a holiday in Japan for all we know. I haven't a freaking clue, but I am excited to see where they're going with this. As far as, like, predictions for what's going to possibly happen, Sanji, like, the fact that he doesn't have to worry about the bracelet anymore, and by the way, when the fuck did that happen?
When he probably got knocked out by his brothers kicking his ass. And
probably, and she was able to just do that shit?
Yeah.
Master of unlocking fucking Jill Valentine, getting in there, being able to take that shit off without it exploding right in her face. Clearly, again, demonstrating the skills of the Germa 66 soldiers themselves. Not only are they incredibly badass when it comes to fisticuffs, but they're also pretty damn smart, too. They have a lot of great technology. But I'm really interested to see if Sanji's just going to abandon his sister outright. Like, I'm going to go try and find Luffy right freaking now. But there's so much opposition. This castle is filled with freaks and monsters and all types of weird gooey shit that just wants to eat you alive. I mean, the chapter ends with Luffy just fighting against this big fucker, just like on his back, like choking him to death and everything.
Where's Luffy?
Exactly. Like, there's no way that Luffy's going to be able to take on this many enemies again. So either another member of the Straw Hat group is going to join with him, he's going to finally meet up with Sanji again. We don't even know what the hell's going on with Carrot and Chopper. Just a lot of questions in this chapter. But honestly, as far as entertainment value goes, I thought it was okay. I would have, of course, liked a little more action, of course. We would always like a little more action. But the fact that Jinbei is back and being so helpful was great. A lot of the imagery in this chapter was a lot of fun. Like Nami's shirt being burnt off. So there's definitely a lot of entertainment value from this chapter. So as far as the score this week, I'm going to give this one a 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5? Okay. Well, anyway, that's what we thought, guys. Let us know what you thought in the comments below. And if you like this video, subscribe to the channel or give it a good old thumbs up. And until next time, stay dandy, baby.